Okay, thank you everyone for attending this afternoon. Welcome. My name is Eric Layton, and the seller of RadioTower.com is Paul Valcama. Paul, say hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Eric.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Great. Just wanted to thank everyone for coming. We'll take a few seconds to do a little housekeeping. If you haven't already dialed into the audio bridge, please do so now. You can also use your computer integrated audio to listen in. During the call, you will be on mute. If you'd like to submit questions, please do so using the questions feature in the webinar's control panel. I like to ask the questions as we are going along throughout the presentation. It just seems more relevant and kind of keeps the flow a little bit better than asking them all at the end. So with that, we will get things started. Okay, so this is basically just a snapshot of what you see when you come to Latonas.com. Obviously, the financial details, revenue, COGS, expenses, profit, traffic snapshot, what the current asking price is. It is $54,000 currently. Obviously, Google PageRank. When the site was created, as you can see, big plus as it was established in 1996. So obviously, we all know the age of a site can mean quite a bit. And then always the SEMrush statistics, and you can go to SEMrush.com and peruse those at your leisure. Paul, why don't you just tell us a little bit about RadioTower.com, what we see here, where you got the idea, why you started the company, and we'll go on from there.
Okay, sure. Yeah, RadioTower.com was started in 1996, and at that time it was the first online internet radio directory. There were a couple other ones, but they were focused on themselves. So there was, for example, Real Player had Real stations, and Windows Media had Windows stations. So we were the first independent, and we included both of those. And what we did was list stations that broadcast 24 hours a day, 365 all year long. So we don't have any listings of audio files per se, but just radio stations. And so that's really what we're trying to do, is make it easy for people to find radio and tune it in. And along that lines, we're one of the first ones to allow direct audio links. So as opposed to just going and having a listing of us, here's a radio site, go find the audio, which might take you another 10 minutes to go find the audio stream. We had direct links to the audio. So basically, hit the play button, you get your audio stream. Now, of course, there's been a lot of development since then. Nowadays, one of the biggest things is the HTML5 audio player, so you don't need one of the plugins. So currently we list Windows stations, Real stations, and any station with an HTML5 audio link. And so that pretty well covers most of the live audio providers. Why I got into it is that I've always been interested in music and wanted a way to make it easy for people to go in and tune in these stations. And so I like to do it myself, so I figured, hey, well, there's lots of other people like to do it. And right away, out of the bat, once the site was launched, within the hours, really, people had started giving me feedback. Hey, a good idea, way to go. And obviously that's a good kick to keep going. And then it just kept on growing from there. Great. So that's kind of just the background of how I started it.
All right, awesome. What are we seeing right here?
Yeah, this is the home page, and so we've done a lot of different itinerations going through it, but the idea is that we figure that people want to get into what they want to listen to quickly, so we try to make it no muss, no fuss. So generally what people are looking for are type of categories. Now, you notice on the left-hand side, you could also search by language or by country, but, for example, if someone who wants a rock station, they don't really care where that rock station is listed in. Does it really matter if it's in New Jersey or London, for that matter? So we found that people are looking for those categories. So that's where we listed right away. Right off the bat, get them into the category. Now, once people choose that category, then you get a result list. And so, for example, here's our news radio stations. Now, what we do is rank by rating. Now, we have a few criteria where we decide what's a good station or not. We looked at the signal strength. We look at the website. Is it a good website? Basically, we try to look at it from the audience point of view. If someone's looking for news, what are they looking for? basically something that's reliable, that's good, that's informative. And so at that point, it's an editorial judgment. Now, of course, you can change that around in your RT admin section. Now, besides the rating, which is the star system, we have a description, we have it where it's from, we have what type it is, like in terms of 44K, 16K, which is a low quality signal. Typically, 128 is is usually what good stations broadcast at now, of a good quality. And you can see with the different type of players right there. The top one is a is a Windows media station. The next one's a real station. And so, for example, if you have the Windows plugins, you can sort by that in a search or go through them all. Now, if you notice on the right-hand side of the listing, there's a little add button, and that's our My Radio Tower service. And what that allows you to do is make a custom list of all your stations. And so we have over 20,000 subscribers to that service on listings, and they've created a My Radio Tower page. And so if someone is interested in a particular station, they click on that add button, and that'd be listed on their My Radio Tower page, so that they could go in there and all their favorite stations would be available in one place. We do have a search function over on the right-hand side as well, and for example, you could type in a keyword or a station that you might like, or various other factors, and then we'll give you a list of results, and it would be quite similar to the results you see here. We have some Facebook page, a Twitter page, Google+. We found if people are going to follow us in there, we give them an opportunity to link right there. Now on the top, we have our top banner space. Besides our premium listings, which I'll get to in a bit, Radio Tower is ad supported. We've tried different ad providers. We've gone through a list of them throughout the years, and we found quite a few years now. We have a few different ad spots, and that top spot, just because of the design of the site, that's our top performing ad. Now the other revenue opportunity that you don't see right here, though, is our premium listings. So for example, some stations, they want to be listed on the top, and what they do is buy a particular spot up there, and it is distinguished as a premium listing, and we have quite a few stations that actually pay for those spots throughout the site. So what they'll do is pay for a certain category. Okay, that's
Great, Paul. And I got a question from an attendee. Who rates the stations? Is it just you, or is there a user interface as well?
Currently, it's just me. It's just an editorial one. We did have it before built into the program that people could rate it, but people were kind of trying to game the system, and so yeah, it's just editorial based. I'm the editor, so it's just based upon my opinion at this point.
Okay, great. And then another question as well. Why no sports talk category? I noticed that as well.
There's
Is
actually
there a sports section?
There is a sports section. The top categories are the 10 of about 40. Now, you can add in any category you want. In the RT admin section, we'd want to create a category sports talk. We could do that. There is a sports category. We don't make a specific sports talk category, but one could be created. It's just a matter of going into the admin section and creating it. But if the categories would be under the top left, and there would be about 40 of them that we've listed so far. But again, that would be an editorial decision at that point. And what we found is that oldies, easy listening, those were the most popular, so we want to make it easy for people to find those throughout the site, and that's why they're on the left-hand side there. Okay,
great. I have another question as well. Now, do you get local radio stations, say like from the Philadelphia area? Would you have access to all their local stations?
Well, it depends on the station itself. Some stations don't want to be listed, and for example, they would want all the traffic through their site, and in that case, we won't list them. And so you can localize. So, for example, if you search, you could find, in this case, Melbourne. You'd find all the stations from Melbourne. And what we do in country, we split up the U.S. and Canada by state and province. So, for example, you'd go to Pennsylvania, and you'd find all your Pennsylvania stations there. We don't do it by city. We could have added that feature, but we found that, okay, there's enough stations in Pennsylvania, and it kind of mixes it up. But if you do a search, you'll be able to find all those ones from that particular area.
Okay, great. Now, this appears to be your Facebook page. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
I'm not seeing it quite yet. Yeah, Facebook, worked quite well initially. We picked up about 4,300 people, and when we sent out a message, we'd get a distribution out to 70,000 people. So not only of people who followed us, but all the people who followed, well, not all the people, but friends of those people as well. And so the distribution was quite good. Now, unfortunately, what happened is Facebook's really tightened that up, and so they don't allow that distribution anymore. And so we're kind of the mind, well, we're not really getting the distribution that we did for free. Of course, you could pay Facebook lots of money and get out there, but it's not working like it used to. So we got our lights, but yeah, we're not really updating it as much as we can, just because the distribution's not there, and so we don't really spend the time on it in terms of actively pursuing it.
Okay, great. And then do you have other social media that you've taken advantage of at all, like Twitter, Pinterest, anything like that?
We did test. Like every time that we sent out a Facebook post, we also post it on Twitter, so it would be automatically posted. There wasn't as many people following us on Twitter, and so we tried Google Plus as well, and we didn't do a big concerted effort with those two. So the numbers in terms of audience aren't that big. We basically were looking, well, what works, what didn't. And the number one, what worked for us was SEO. And for the longest time, if you could look at our charts there, for the longest time, we were at the top of Google for main keywords like internet radio, radio stations, free radio, listen to music. We were within the top 3, and for the longest time. And what happened in 2012, we had a drop there, and they penalized us because we had too much what they considered advertising. And what it came down to is our premium listings, they considered advertising. And so because they were at the top of the categories, we got penalized for that. Now that was a new penalty. We didn't, we had no idea that something like that would come out. We made adaptations to that once we figured out, and once they ran the algorithm again, we did start to get back up to that. So we were really focused on the SEO. And social media worked a bit, but really what we're focused on was the SEO. Just want to make sure I got you there, Eric.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Yeah, basically what we're seeing here, you just explained the Wayback history of the Wayback Machine, Internet Archive, and just the activity that you see throughout the years, big spikes, 2004 through 2007, and then pretty steady until 2012. You had a little bit. Anything else you had when you see the activity kind of chart?
Well, yeah, just like I see the drops, like say 2008, 2009. There's these drops down.
Right.
It tracks it because, yeah, I mean, our audience was, like month in, month out was fairly stable. And now, of course, it'll be, little spikes here and there, but not like the spikes that are shown here. And if you have, I don't know if you got the Google Analytics chart, that would show it much more accurately.
Yeah, we'll see that in a few minutes. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly what the the scale is here because it's just got like obviously there are some periods where we got lots of traffic, but the no traffic, no, I mean except for one period where the site was down for technical reasons for a couple of weeks, there was no gaps like that. So right. it's kind of a misrepresentation, but it kind of shows you that I mean. Obviously, the heyday was in 2005 there, and that kind of it seems sense in traffic. Now, the funny thing is that might have been the heyday in traffic, but income held steady all the way through. It actually grew all the way through. So except like I said, about 2012, that's where it started to drop. So the traffic, income, they're all fairly steady, all for years and years and years and years.
Yeah, I think we see here on the Google Analytics how steady it is. October 13 through, August 14. And then you have that little spike in July. Do you have any explanation for that spike?
No, to be honest, no. I know there was a competitor coming into the marketplace. I can't remember exactly which one it was at the time, and then we seem to get a lot of traffic because I guess of the industry. I think it was when Apple Radio came out, and what happens, and it brought a lot of attention to the industry. I couldn't figure out specifically what it was, but it was right around that same time, so that's what I'm kind of drawing the conclusion. Now, in the last couple of years, to be honest, I haven't put the effort in that to maintain the site, and so
Sure.
that's the reason I'm selling it. It's I've kind of moved on into other projects, and so the idea is that if you look in the history of it, for 16 of 18 years, it was the top of the industry for those major keywords, and it has that link history, that good link coverage. And so the idea is that, with a bit of concentrated effort, I would also redesign the site. That would be the site hasn't been redesigned for a while. So if you redesign the site, kind of make it new and interesting and promote it that way, I suggest that you can get right up to the rankings, right up, for those top keywords again.
Nice.
The history is there.
And then you see basically just a breakdown of demographics per country. Pretty nice world market going on. Did you ever target any specific country other than the U.S. or no?
No, to be honest, we've never spent a dime in advertising. It's all been organic traffic. So basically, it's whatever Google and then the other search engines sends us, and you can see that the most of the traffic is from the United States and Canada, and then with a decent spread throughout the world. But we've never done any concentrated advertising in any particular market.
Nice. And then we have some more Google Analytics, and then you can always see these. Paul would be very happy to share any kind of user analytics. Just give me your email. You can email it to me, and I'll have Paul share his Google Analytics with you, and you can delve into these kind of statistics at your own leisure and in depth as much as you'd like. Then we have Majestic SEO. Go ahead.
Can you go just back one slide, Eric?
Sure.
On site. So people are spending almost 5 minutes on the site. And I think one thing that's going to happen with, for example, video advertising, it becomes not more just about visits. It becomes about duration. And you think about it, when people start listening to radio, they're going to spend a lot of time on there. And so there's an opportunity if you build ads right in. Now, we've never done that, because it's the signal of the station. And if you're to go forward and make deals with each station about that content, or perhaps you can put in, I know some stations or some directories, what they're doing is they put one ad of their own right before they send you to that site. And so there's a lot of opportunity in terms of advertising because there's so many advertising spots available. So that duration, I think that's a very important rate.
Yes, it is, sir. Absolutely. Obviously, duration, longer, more times, more opportunities to see ads. So, yeah, certainly something to take advantage of. And you just didn't take advantage of it because?
Well, one thing that Google's, their generic terms of service is that you can only put one ad per click. So in other words, what would happen is that, or a player pops up and has one Google ad, well, actually two within the player, and that's the only ad they see. Now, again, I know if people, what they do is that they flip over the ads every 30 seconds. Now, we didn't do it because we want to make sure that we're playing well with Google. Now, if someone has any connections with Google or, they approach them, they're probably more than likely to allow something like that because, hey, people are sitting there. So there's nothing illegitimate about showing different ads as they stay on the site.
Great.
But, to this point, we haven't done it just because we don't have the deep connections with Google.
And certainly always better safe than sorry with Google.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then here we see some backlinks, statistics, pretty substantial backlinks. And again, Majestic SEO, free for anyone that just wants to go to the site and look up radiotower.com.
And along those lines, the Google and Webmaster Central, we have the results, and there's over 1 million backlinks. Now, of course, they count them a bit differently, and some of them are, some sites would, send us, like, for example, 100,000 links or whatnot, and so that really skewers it up. But just to show that there is a lot of backlinks to this.
Nice. Well, yeah, certainly with the site of this age, that always adds to a kind of sum total of the total backlinks.
Exactly, and the one thing is it's the new links, and that's where I'm suggesting that with a redesign, with some new fresh links, all these old links will start to be that much more relevant again. Perfect. Because without the new links, then Google takes that and factor, okay, well, what's happened recently to the site? But with that, the new, getting some new links will totally change the rankings where it is, and obviously for the better.
Great. And then just a breakdown, the backlink breakdown, anchor test. Again, Majestic SEO statistics. And we can go from there. Just description of a typical backlink, where they're located. Do you know any of these intimately, or are they just organic backlinks that you've seen throughout the past?
Yeah, these look pretty
Yep.
pretty generic.
Okay. And then here we have some organic kind of keyword breakdown, traffic statistics by month through 2010. Obviously, see after January 12th, and that's exactly what you said. That's when you got hit, correct? Paul, can you hear me? Paul, can you hear me?
Oh, hey.
Yep, I can hear you.
Just do you have me now?
Yep, I got you now. Okay, great.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying that there was a specific date, January 19th, and there was a specific penalty, and it was it was nicknamed the top heavy penalty, and just because Google figures that, well, people want to see more content than advertising, which makes sense. There was no kind of warning of it though, and like I say, we're of the mind that or advertising those premium listings was content. But I guess Google decides, and
Right.
now we did make the change. Within weeks we made our change, but it took them a while. And you could see I believe, yeah, that next spike. That's when they redid the algorithm. Now between there, because we didn't really have no way to know, if we'd ever get back up. That's when our link profile started to age. Basically, that's when we did the changes to try to get back in, and then it was a wait and see at that point. And meanwhile, I went out to other projects. So you could see the difference right there. It was that one, it was that one change, and then, from there, then on the link profile kind of, became stagnant.
Okay, perfect. And here we go, radio tower, little competitors, etc.
Yeah, I mean, it was, for such a small site, I mean, a one-person operation, to be on the top for, keywords like internet radio, radio online, online radio, basically the whole keywords. Now, this, they're not shown here just because this is the recent one, but if we go back a few years, and, like I said, we're pretty well dominating the, the search charts for,
Yeah.
for all our industry keywords.
And here we have uniques. Big spike in June of 14. Any explanation for that?
Yeah, no,
Were you
this is where
adding new content?
No, this is where I suggest that that's when Apple Radio came out.
Okay.
Now, I can't, I can't identify exactly, the reason that it went in there. I was trying to figure out but I came to no conclusions, and so yeah, it was kind of an anomaly at that point. It was kind of hard
You
to
can
figure
see a
out.
pretty loyal following.
Just because that's what that. Oh yeah, we, like through our subscriber list, like we have about 40,000 email subscribers. And I know that a lot of those people have been with us right from the when we started that particular email list. So it's a lot of people. They come in first thing in the morning. Yeah, hey, I want to listen to some radio all day, and they hit Radio Tower. They hit their station, and on we go. So
Have you? And you said you had 40,000. I got a question. Did you ever take advantage as far as a newsletter or anything like that?
Yeah,
with
we
those
had a
40,000?
monthly. Yeah, we have a monthly newsletter. The first thing when someone subscribes to the letter, we have a series, an autoresponder series, and the point of that was to try to sell one of our products. And so we'd have like I think it was like every 2-3 days we'd have an email and teaching people how to use the site, about internet radio, ways they can customize it, ways they can search, and then on the seventh email of that series, and we would pitch them on our premium product. Before the premium product actually sold quite a bit, but it hasn't, because it's kind of an outdated piece of software, it doesn't really sell that much. But yeah, we used to send it out at a newsletter once a week. Now it's once a month, and we've kind of fallen off that too. To be honest, we haven't really
Sure.
pursued it. So it's the list is still there. It's just kind of cooled down a bit just because we haven't given its due. But yeah, there's obviously a lot of people still interested in internet radio.
And certainly another way you can monetize the site with you can monetize the newsletter as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've had some people approach us about advertising on there, and it depends on the the product and how effective it was, right? So that's kind of a hit and miss. Sometimes it's been effective, but generally we use it just for our own purposes, send people back to our own site. But yeah, there's definitely another opportunity there.
Great. And then here we have views. Pretty steady, it shows the loyal following, 200K in general, and then the spike with the little update, and then it kind of, looks like it's holding at, hopefully holding at around above 200. So as, again, you explained what you thought what the spike was. There was a little dip in December of 13, but that could be attributed to the holidays. Who knows?
Yeah, there's always kind of a seasonal variation that I find that, certain, like if it's a holiday, traffic will go down because I guess people are working, right? And then, so the season, December usually is a really good month for AdSense, and until call it like the 15th or so, and then our traffic starts to drop, and of course AdSense starts to drop to there. But if we look in a history of AdSense, the best months have been December. And
have you ever thought, I have a question, have you ever thought of a mobile app or looking into that?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question, and we've got a site. I don't know if I've even mentioned that to you, Eric, but it's a mobile site. It's m.radiotower.com. Now, we haven't gone the app route, because what we were looking at, as opposed to, when we created it, there was the two avenues, either create a mobile website or create an app. And we went the route of creating a mobile website. Now, it doesn't get huge amounts of traffic, and that's why we decided maybe the app wasn't worth it. And so, spending all that money to build an app where maybe the payoff wasn't there. But yeah, so if you go to m.radiotower.com, you'd see the mobile site. Basically, it lists all our HTML5 compatible stations because you can't use Real Player or Windows Player on a traditional smartphone. And so basically it's a list of all the HTML5 stations that you can pick up on a smartphone.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's definitely an added bonus.
Yeah, I guess I should have mentioned that to you
before. All right, great. I mean, hey, you learn something new every day. I like it. It's not a bad thing.
I mean, obviously with the database, if someone would want to go create an app, the same database would work, and it's just a matter of creating a different web face for it, or a mobile face, I should say.
Okay, great. And then what are we looking at here? I'm assuming this is the back end?
Sorry, I can't see it quite yet.
Okay. Wait till it populates. It's basically an admin page. Looks like it has... It's a little bit small here. Do you see it yet?
No, I've still seen the views. Okay, so in the RT, there's a place to manage our premium listings, and so the idea is if someone's a premium listing. Okay, yeah, okay, so now I see it. Okay, so that's a list of a certain search result, and so for example, if someone wants to go to a certain station, or excuse me, administrative particular station, you just click on the blue link, and it would take you to that particular screen. And so you'd have different search functions. One thing I find really easy in terms of making administration, you can search for name, or if you know the number. And so that's how I update the site. Is I run a link checker, and it gives me all the, and we created a page on the site, a hidden page, so no consumer can see it. But what it does is has all the particular stations on the site, and we go check those links, all the audio links, and therefore we get a result of like a number and all the bad numbers, and that way then I can go in and I just 16120 or something like that, and I punch it into the database. I get that particular station, and I can update it or if I need to disable it, if it's not, doesn't exist, then I would put it to a 0. So this particular stage, this is the add station, and so you can see basically all the data is there. Now, to be honest, I don't need to use this page much. What happens is that we have an add station form on the home page, actually on the side of every page on the site. And if someone wants to add their station, and we get multiple listing requests per day, and they just simply go in their add station and they fill out all this data. Now, it doesn't go live at that point because a lot of times it could be spam. And so I don't just want to let anyone put their content on the website without checking. So what happens, it goes in as a 0, and there's a parameter where if I want to change it, if I want to add it, I change that to a 1. So if it's active, it's a 1. If it's not active, it's a 0. Or the other way around. I mean, if for some reason I want to take a station off, it's simply hit that switch and update. So you can see here is a search function. So in that case, when I hit jazz, you hit the search button, different parameters, of course. Now, what this is when you've seen, this is for the URL for the audio. And so it could be the Windows Media or Real or HTML5, what rate it is, and then again, update the change. Really what you're looking for is, certain type of files. For example, in this case, it's a .asx, which is a Windows Media file. .ram or .ra is a real file, and then with MP3, M3U, or .aac or .pls, that would be an HTML5. And so you can see those would end up on your right-hand side. So this is a particular listing for one station. And as I said before, the active is right down toward the bottom. You could change it. In this case, it's active. It's a 1. The rating, you could change your rating right there. The description. The main thing I would look at is the region, and that's where we put the language. And so, for example, maybe someone wants to listen to French stations only. Well, we'd want to make sure that they listen to that, and we use the region category for that.
Okay, great. Do you see the revenue page, Paul?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. So obviously we see ups and downs, peaks and valleys, and then we've somewhat explained that with traffic. And then obviously a larger DN, 2 or 3 months, the spike, 2 months ago, and then kind of dipping in that. And that's just, can you have an explanation for that? Is that just lack of enthusiasm for the site any longer, or?
Well, the one thing is the summertime, because a lot of people are taking the vacations in summer, so you're always going to have a typical dip around July and August and stuff like that, and then. September should start getting it back up there, and then obviously, it's a winter months where people really want to start to, stay inside, right? So,
yeah.
So this, the pattern wouldn't be too unusual. Again, like I suggest, without looking for the stats for this month, that it would be on the upswing. Now, it was a bit of a mistake on my part, the cost of goods service. I had put in PayPal expenses, because for premium listings, we use PayPal, and they're PayPal fees. You can see they're quite low. We're talking about, let's call it 20,
pretty negligible.
25 bucks. But yeah, but just so people realize that is actually should be under expenses.
Expenses holding steady, basically just server costs, I'm assuming?
Yeah, server costs and Aweber. So Aweber handles our email. So
sure.
When I was talking about 40,000 email, they're all verified. They've been cleaned out. So that's about $70 a month. The $100, that's what is for my server. I have other sites on there as well. And so I was trying to do a fair proportion for what radio traffic would be responsible for.
Perfect. So tell us about the day-to-day operation, like hours, man hours. How many hours are required per day in a general week? If it's a one-man show, obviously you said it was, and then just give us a little bit of explanation of what you kind of do day in, day out for RadioTower.com.
Well, the one thing, the content is produced by the radio stations, and so in effect, it manages itself from that way. It's not like we have got to keep on producing content on an ongoing basis. What people come for there is radio, and that's luckily provided by the stations, and they love to be listened. For them, it's a promotional avenue. So really, it's about maintenance at that point. One is adding new stations, and so what I do in that case is I check the emails, and I have like it's basically add radio tower station. So I have a certain folder of all my emails that say add radio tower station. They go in there, and it's a matter of going through those, checking those stations, either giving it a 1 or leaving it as a 0. Now, it really comes down to how much you want to update it. I'm of the mind that, if you update it once a day, it's probably going to take you 15, 20 minutes. You add in, say, let's call it 2 stations a day. Now, you could go in there and, for example, do a month and, do a huge catalog and then they have them all in there. But I'm of the mind that, slow, steady. And that also is good for social marketing because then that's what we used to do on Facebook is, okay, here's some new stations, put them on Facebook, put them on Twitter. So that's slow, steady. And it's pretty quick. Basically, you have all the information there, just put it, if it's, look, some are obviously spam, and then don't have to look at it. If you think it might be a good station, you activate it, maybe with a low rating, you go take a look at it, go listen to it, make sure everything's fine, and if good, maybe up the rating. So I would say about 20 minutes a day on that in terms of day-to-day operation. Now, the other thing is that you want to maintain the site, I would say about once a month, and what that is for dead links. Because the site has so many radio stations, things happen. Some sites go out of business, some sites will change their streaming URL, and you want to keep on top of that. Now, if it really comes down to how quickly you want to do that. I'm of the mind that once a month is a good way to do that. And again, it depends on how vigorous you want to pursue stations because for example, if a station's not working, you just take it out. It took you 30 seconds. However, if you feel it's a valuable station that you really want to go search, well, you can spend more time on it. Then you have to go hunt it down if it's a good station or not. For example, if it's a station in Chinese, if it's an English or a Western-based language, it's a lot easier because they can translate. But if some languages they might not translate well, and then you have to go try to find the link, and it can become pretty complicated. But in general, I would account for 4 or 5 hours a month to update it. And again, it's kind of really comes down to how deep you want to get into it. There's tricks to make it quicker, and what I look for is if it's really an original station. If it's an original station, I'm going to put that much more effort into it. If it's a unique station, if I don't have many stations in that particular country, I'll add in, I'll do that much more work to maintain it. But if it's a 500th alternative, let's say adult contemporary station from Georgia, well, are they really going to change it that much different content from say Tennessee? And so if it goes down, probably not going to spend that much effort to try to get it back up. I would just keep, make sure that, I'm not wasting my visitors' time. But, there's, again, an editorial decision, but I'd call it about 4 hours a month.
Okay, great. And then the site growth, future expectations, what do you see moving forward? If you're really excited about it again, and if you were bringing it into kind of updating it, what would you see kind of moving forward the future of the site in an ideal situation?
Okay, well, yeah, I guess there's 2 ways to look at it. There's the kind of the easy way and the way that if you really want to go deep. So the easy way I would suggest is redesign the site. Get a new site, get a new fresh feel for it, and then do a promotional link. And so with that, I would suggest that you'd be able to get it to the level it was before. And if that, you'd be able to make your money back, well, probably triple your money within a year. On the other hand, if you really decide to go big on this, well, the sky's the limit really on this because, there's the opportunity to, do apps and really get into the automobile. Now, obviously with that, you're going to have to make deals with, all the audio providers, and you're going to have to really get deep into the technology and sales and the whole thing. But let's put it this way. Radio is not going away. Radio, the industry has been around for a long time. But radio over the airwaves will probably convert to what radio tower, the online radio type of ways of getting things, as opposed to a transistor radio where people can listen. If they have that, people will be listening more and more on their phones, and so the opportunity is huge. If you look at the number of people who have gone to radio tower over the last, let's call it 5 years, millions and millions of people, they know the brand. They're familiar with the brand. If you create an app, well, a lot of them will just download just out of curiosity. Of course, it depends how good that app is, how long they're going to listen to it. But I think that the main thing that Radio Tower is that brand. Because there has been so much traffic through the 16 years, and it has such a good reputation. I mean, we were in Time Magazine, we were in USA Today, the LA Times. There's been a lot of history here in the site, and so the number one thing is to there's a future in the industry, and a great is significant.
Okay, great, Paul. All right. So why are you selling the site?
Well, one thing is it's, as a one person operation, it's I gotta there's only so many hours in a day, and I've decided to go onto other projects. Doing something for 18 years, that's kind of gone to it's kind of run its course, as it were. So to be honest, I don't have the excitement that I should have, or need to have to keep growing it. And so I've gone on to other projects, and really that's the main thing. It's I kind of looked at it. Well, what am I going to do with this site? And am I going to work on it? And I mean, you always kind of have, I'll get back to it, but I haven't in the last year. So I can foresee the future as the other projects are taking up all my time. So that's why I want to put into hands where someone can take advantage of the opportunity and can really grow, because I'd love to see the site get back up there, and help people listen to the radio. I think that's a great concept, and I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And so if it's not me, I want to see someone do it.
Great. And then how much support are you willing to provide?
Well, in terms of transfer, as much as necessary. Like I said, I want to see this succeed.
Right.
So if someone has questions, even if it's a year later, if it's a quick question, no problem. Of course, I can't spend hours and hours and hours, for indefinite periods of time. But I'm more than willing to help, to get people going and make sure that they're going in the right direction. And that's ongoing too. So if someone wants to discuss opportunities online, yeah, by all means, if they want my opinion, I'm more than willing to give it, and any tech support that I can give, yeah.
Great. All right, guys. I just want to thank everyone for coming. I've asked all the questions during the presentation, and I just want to call for helping me present this, and thank you all for attending. Going forward, you can email Eric Layton, myself, at eric, E-R-I-C, @latonas.com. My direct line, 678-629-2870. You can call anytime as well. And then I can send you the detailed prospectus on the site, which is a little bit more in-depth as far as statistics, analytics, financials, breakdowns, etc. And we can go forward from there. So I just want to thank everyone again. Enjoy your afternoon. Thank you, Paul, and thanks everyone for attending. Have a great day.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Eric. Bye-bye.
Okay, we're done. Great job, Paul. You did great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, you did great.
Perfect. Well, at first you're kind of nervous, but then I guess like anything,
you
you
just roll in. You know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, it's just that's why I didn't want to tell you exactly how long to speak, but yeah, we did it about 45 minutes, and you were great. You were absolutely
okay, cool.
perfect.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's one of those things. I've been doing it enough, so I know my topic. So that's what should I prepare? What should I prepare?
No, you don't have to do anything. I mean, you're 18 years in. I'm sure you know it like the back of your hand.
Okay, so yeah, hopefully, how many people were listening? Do we know at this point?
Yeah, we had 9 people listening, which is good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay, that's good. That's cool.
And we've already sent a bunch of prospectuses, and then sometimes it takes them a while. They want to wait for the open house, and then we should get another round in a couple weeks as well.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, let me know, and yeah, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Of course. All right, man. Give me a call. Always emailing me anytime you want.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Eric.
All right, Paul. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.